Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a place, right? Ancient history isn't just, behind glass somewhere. It's literally standing guard over this playground for the modern elite. We are diving deep into Bodrum, Turkey.
Yeah.
It's this amazing, sometimes, well, dizzying mix of contrasts. You've got those iconic, like, sugar cube whitewashed houses,
Mhm.
often dripping with purple bougainvillea, right? And it's all against this sea that's so turquoise, you kind of wonder if it's even real.
It forces you to check the photo filter,
Yeah.
and smack in the middle of that huge 15th century Crusader castle just dominating the whole harbor scene.
Totally.
And that harbor image, it really captures the complexity, doesn't it? It's like Bodrum in miniature.
Hope so.
Well, you see the traditional wooden gullets on gorgeous Turkish sailing boats,
Yeah.
They've been built there for ages for trade, fishing.
It's classic image.
And then literally berthed next to them, you've got these floating palaces, billion-dollar super yachts. It's that stark duality right there.
Yeah, old and new, rich and, well, traditional.
Exactly. And Bodrum's earned this intense reputation, History, sure, but also hedonism, glamour, but all that fame. Comes with a serious price tag.
And crowds. Don't forget the crowds.
Oh, definitely the crowds. And the logistics, especially in summer, they can be tricky.
That's really the core thing we're digging into here, isn't it? Bodrum gets pitched as this place that has it all. Culture, sun, history, nightlife.
The whole package.
But our mission for you, the listener, is to kind of cut through those perfect postcard shots. We need to figure out if this place, the so-called Saint-Tropez of the Turkish Riviera, is it actually worth the time, the money, and honestly, the hassle?
We're aiming to give you that informed shortcut so you understand the deal before you even book a flight. Over the next half hour or so, we'll map out the whole thing.
The whole experience.
Yeah, the real flight costs, the truth about the traffic, and it can be brutal. We'll break down the accommodation scene.
From cheap spots to fancy resorts.
Exactly. And the different vibes, where to stay, depending on what you're after. We'll get into the food, those specific Asian flavors.
Looking forward to that.
And the absolute must-do activities, the history bits.
Yeah.
And then, we'll talk about that complicated vibe to stuff the brochures gloss over.
Sounds like a plan. So let's start right at the beginning. The fundamental question. How do we actually get there? Segment 1, logistics, arrival, getting around.
Okay, so the main gateway is Milas-Bodrum Airport. Airport code BJV.
Got it.
And look, it's modern enough. It handles a lot of traffic, especially from Europe. But the first thing you need to know, particularly if you're going between, say, May and October.
High season.
Yeah, high season. You got to adjust your expectations for speed. This place gets seriously swamped. Think long lines at immigration. Baggage claim can be a bit chaotic. Just a general sense of organized frenzy, let's call it.
Okay, good heads up. So flying in, Europeans first, sounds like they have it easier.
They do, definitely. The research shows loads of direct flights from big hubs, London, Berlin, Amsterdam, places like that.
And cost-wise?
If you're smart about timing, it's pretty good. Aim for the shoulder season like late May, maybe early June or September, early October. You could probably snag a round trip for something like $150 to $400, which is great value, really, for the destination.
That does sound good. But there's a catch, I assume.
The catch is peak summer, particularly August. That European holiday demand just goes through the roof. Those same flights, prices can easily double, maybe even triple. It's your first taste of that Bodrum price bubble.
Right. Okay, what about travelers coming from further afield? North America, Asia?
Right. For you guys, it's almost certainly going to involve a layover, usually Istanbul. And you'll likely be flying Turkish Airlines.
Which is a great airline, generally.
Oh, fantastic service, yeah. But that extra leg, the transcontinental flight, it means costs are way higher. You're probably looking at ballpark $900 to $1,500, say, from New York or L.A. Yeah. And the absolute key advice from every single source, if you're planning summer travel, book it super early. Like, don't wait until spring. Those prices will already be climbing fast.
Got it. Book early for summer. So, okay, you've landed at BJV, you've survived the queues. Now what? It's still a bit of a drive to Bodrum town, right?
Yeah, about 45 minutes, give or take, depending on traffic.
Yeah.
And this is your first real decision point. Spend money for convenience or save money with a bit more effort.
Option 1, I guess, is the taxi?
Yep, taxi rank right outside the terminal. Easiest option, but also the priciest. You're looking at roughly $40 to $50 US for that ride.
Okay, maybe worth it if you're splitting it, but solo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the savvy traveler or someone watching the budget, option 2 is the clear winner, the airport shuttle. Look for signs for Havaş or M-U-T-T-H.
Havas or M-U-T-T-A.
Okay, these are big, comfortable coach buses. They go directly to the main bus station, the Otogar, right in Bodrum town.
And the cost difference.
It's kind of funny, actually. That same 45-minute ride, it's like $5 to $7.
Seriously, $5 to $7 versus 50.
Yeah. It's incredibly cheap. And from the Otogar, you're central. You can easily grab a short, cheap local taxi, or even walk, depending on where your hotel is.
Wow, okay. That seems like the way to go for most people. Is there a middle ground?
Yeah, option 3 is the pre-booked private transfer. Good for families, bigger group maybe. You get the door-to-door service without haggling or worrying about the meter like you might with an airport taxi. Costs more than the shuttle, less than the taxi usually.
Right, makes sense. Okay, so we're in Bodrum town now.
Right.
But the peninsula is big, right?
Mhm.
Lots of other places to see. How do you get around locally? This is where the Dolmuş comes in.
Ah, the mighty Dolmuş. Yes, you absolutely have to understand the Dolmuş system to get around Bodrum properly. It's basically a shared minibus network.
Like a public bus, but smaller.
Kinda, but more fluid. It's not just transport. It's a whole cultural experience.
Yeah.
They run set routes connecting Bodrum town to all the main spots, Gümüşlük, Yalıkavak, Spitez, all over.
How do you use it? Do you need a special pass or ticket?
Nope, super simple. You don't necessarily wait at a formal bus stop. Just stand on the side of the road on the route, look for the sign in the front window showing the destination you want.
And then just wait it down?
Yeah, flag it down, be enthusiastic, hop in, find a seat if you can, and pay the driver directly in cash, usually Turkish Lira.
And the cost. You said the shuttle was cheap.
The Dolmuş is even cheaper. We're talking like $1 to $2 per ride, maybe slightly more for the longer routes. You can basically cross the entire peninsula for pocket change.
That's amazing. So why wouldn't everyone just use the Dolmuş for everything? There must be a downside.
Oh, there is. Especially in summer, the trade-off is comfort and, well, predictability.
How so?
July and August. Sources describe them as absolutely packed. Sardine cans on wheels, standing room only, super hot, and forget about a precise schedule. It runs when it runs. You're on Turkish time.
Right. So cheap and comprehensive, but potentially crowded and slow, requires patience.
A good dose of patience, yeah. And a tolerance for close quarters.
Okay. What about regular taxis? Or ride-sharing apps?
Taxis are everywhere. Plentiful. But here's a crucial warning. Always make sure the meter is switched on, or agree on a fixed price before you get in, especially at night or from tourist hotspots.
The classic, meter is broken, scam.
It definitely happens. As for apps like Uber or the local one, Bataxi they mostly just call regular licensed taxis anyway, often at similar prices. Maybe slightly more convenient for payment sometimes, but not a huge difference.
So, Dolmuş for cheap exploring, taxis for convenience but with a warning. What about renting wheels, scooter or car?
That's the freedom option. It lets you explore those amazing hidden coves, the little villages, find that perfect quiet beach the Dolmuş doesn't go near. A scooter is great for short hops, a small car for longer distances.
Sounds ideal. But I feel another but coming.
A big but. The traffic. We hinted at it, but the sources use terms like truly biblical for July and August.
Biblical traffic, seriously.
Yeah, seriously. Especially on those single-lane roads connecting the towns, or trying to get into Bodrum town itself in the evening. It becomes a complete standstill. A 5-mile trip. Could easily take you an hour, hour and a half.
Wow, just stuck.
Stuck. Bumper to bumper, horns honking, air conditioning fighting a losing battle. You spend your precious vacation time staring at the car in front of you, not the beautiful Aegean Sea.
So the takeaway is,
if you want the freedom of your own wheels, absolutely avoid July and August. Go in the shoulder season, May, June, September, October. Driving is much more pleasant then.
that paints a very, very clear picture. Okay, we've landed. We know how to move around or how not to move around in August. Let's get into segment 2. Accommodation, where to stay, and what vibe to expect. You mentioned Bodrum's split personality. This seems like where it really shows.
Oh, absolutely. The range of places to stay is just staggering. It really proves Bodrum caters to, well, pretty much everyone. From like a basic dorm bed to a private villa with its own butler, chef, the works.
Let's break it down into those 3 price tiers you mentioned earlier, starting with budget. Is Bodrum a backpacker place?
Not really a classic backpacker hub like, say, Southeast Asia. The baseline cost is just a bit higher, but budget travel is definitely doable. You're looking for hostels? There are few or more commonly simple family-run guest houses. They call them pensions.
Signs. Where would you find those?
Mostly tucked away in the back streets of Bodrum town, or maybe in Gumbit, which is the next bay over, known for being a bit more lively and package holiday focused.
And what's the experience like in a pension?
Often really charming. Think small, maybe run by an older couple. Simple, clean rooms. Maybe a basic but decent breakfast served in a little courtyard. It's functional, it's authentic, it gets you away from that hyper-luxury bubble.
Cost-wise?
For a private room in a pension, you're probably looking at $30 to $50 a night. Maybe a bit more in peak season, a bit less in the shoulder. Dorm beds would be cheaper, of course.
Okay, doable. Now, the mid-range, you called this the sweet spot. Wow.
Because this is where you get that classic Bodrum aesthetic, the one you see in the photos, without completely breaking the bank. We're talking boutique hotels, stylish Airbnbs.
The whitewashed walls, the bougainvillea.
Exactly. Elegant stone buildings, nice courtyards, maybe a lovely pool. You get style, you get comfort, usually a great breakfast. It feels like a proper Asian holiday.
And the price for this sweet spot?
It varies a lot depending on the season and exactly where it is. Beachfront costs more, obviously. But generally, think $100, $250 a night. You get a really balanced experience in this range. Great value, often.
Right. And then the top tier, the luxury scene that gives Bodrum its glamorous reputation.
Yeah, this is the world-class stuff, the big names. Mandarin Oriental, Amanruya, which is incredibly exclusive and beautiful, the Four Seasons residences. These places are destinations in themselves.
What makes them ultra-luxury?
They're not just hotels. They're like private estates. Think private beaches, stunning infinity pools, multiple high-end restaurants, maybe Michelin-level dining, spas, incredible service. Everything is designed for ultimate secluded leisure.
And the cost. Brace ourselves.
Yeah. It starts around $500 a night, and it goes up, way up, into the thousands, easily. This tier is really important because it sets the high watermark for pricing across the whole peninsula. It creates that expensive bubble effect.
Okay, so we know the price points, but where on the peninsula should people stay? You mentioned 3 vibe zones. Let's define those.
Super important decision. First up, Bodrum Town. This is the heart of it all. The castle, the marina, the main bars and shops.
Who is this best for?
Definitely first-timers or anyone who wants to be right in the action, loves nightlife, and doesn't want to rely on transport much. Everything's walkable, vibrant, convenient.
And downsides.
It's loud, it's crowded, especially in summer. And the beaches right in town aren't the best on the peninsula. They're okay, but often narrow and packed. If you want peace or amazing sand, you need to go further out.
Which brings us to Vibe Zone 2. Gumushlik, where's that and what's the feel?
Gumushlik is out on the western tip. And its vibe is totally different. Think chill, bohemian, artsy.
What makes it like that?
2 key things. First, it's a protected archaeological site. The ruins of the ancient city of Mundos are actually partly underwater, right offshore.
Wow. Can you see them?
You can. There's this amazing causeway, sometimes called the King's Road, that's submerged in shallow water. You can literally wade out towards Rabbit Island, walking over these ancient stones. It's magical.
That sounds incredible.
It really is. And second, Gumushlik is famous for its waterfront fish restaurants. Tables right on the sand, feet almost in the water. The whole vibe is just relaxed, charming, really romantic, great for couples or anyone wanting a quieter, more cultural feel.
Okay, Bodrum Town for energy, Gumushlik for chill vibes. What's the third zone?
Zone 3 is Yalukovec. And if Bodrum Town is energy and Gumushlik is bohemian, Yalukovec is, well, it's pure chic. It's the absolute definition of that Turkish Riviera glamour.
What drives that?
It all revolves around the Palm Marina. This huge state-of-the-art marina built specifically for mega yachts, like the biggest ones in the world.
So it attracts a certain crowd.
Exactly. You've got high-end designer boutiques right there. Dior, Prada, Louis Vuitton, super exclusive beach clubs, famous restaurants like Nusarest, Salt Bay's place.
Oh, right.
The whole atmosphere is very glamorous, very international, and very expensive. It's the luxury bubble made visible. Staying in Yalukovec means you're opting into that high-end scene. It's a world away from a quiet pension in Bodrum Town.
Understanding those 3 zones feels crucial. Your choice really shapes your whole trip budget, noise level, itinerary.
Totally. You need to pick the vibe that matches what you're looking for.
Okay, perfect. We know where to stay. Now, let's talk about what sustains us while we're there. Segment 3, food and drink. The flavor of the Asian coast.
Ah, yes. This is often a real highlight and maybe where you can find some unexpected value too. Asian cuisine is just fantastic.
How would you describe it? What's the profile?
It's influenced by the sea, obviously, its closeness to Greece and the incredible local produce. Think fresh, light, but packed with flavor. It relies heavily on amazing local olive oil, fresh herbs like dill, mint, parsley, lots of vegetables, Less focus on heavy meats compared to other parts of Turkey.
Sounds delicious. Okay, if you had to pick one signature Bodrum dish, the absolute must-try, what is it?
It has to be chikerme kebabi. And forget your image of a standard street kebab. This is different.
How so? What makes chikerme kebabi special?
It's a regional specialty, specifically from this area, Muğla province. And it's all about textures and rich flavors. It doesn't come on pita or rice, the base. It's a bed of crispy, super thin, fried potato sticks, almost like shoestring fries, but better. That gives it this amazing crunch.
Okay, crunchy potato base. What goes on top?
Thinly sliced strips of marinated beef or veal, cooked until really tender. That's the savory heart of it. But the magic, the decadent part, is the topping. A generous dollop of garlic yogurt sauce. Tangy, creamy. And often it's finished with a drizzle of hot melted butter, sometimes with a little tomato paste mixed in.
Wow. Okay, that sounds incredible. Potatoes, meat, yogurt, butter.
It's rich, yes, but somehow it still feels distinctly Asian. It's satisfying, unique, and absolutely unforgettable. You have to try it.
Consider it added to the list. Beyond that masterpiece, seafood must be huge, right? Being on the Aegean.
Absolutely massive. The key here is simplicity and freshness. Look for grilled octopus adapat yazgara.
How should it be?
When it's done well, it's slow-cooked first to tenderize it, then charred quickly over coals. It should be smoky, tender, not rubbery at all, miles better than bad octopus you might have had elsewhere.
Good tip. What else?
Just simple grilled fish. Ask what's fresh sea bass, livrek or gilt head bream, sipura, are common and delicious. Just grilled whole, served with lemon and a good splash of olive oil. Perfection.
And before the main course, you always have mezes, right? Those Turkish appetizers. Any specific Bodrum ones to look out for?
Definitely. You'll get a whole spread, too, I'd highly recommend. First, girit ismesi means Cretan spread. It's usually this amazing whipped feta or other white cheese, often mixed with pistachios, walnuts, herbs, maybe a little chili. It's creamy, spicy, salty, incredibly addictive.
Get it as Macy. Got it. What's the second one?
A fantastic vegetarian one called Deniz Britolcesi. It translates as sea beans or samphire. It's this coastal succulent, kind of crisp and naturally salty. They usually just blanch it and dress it simply with good olive oil, lemon juice, and garlic. It tastes like the sea, so fresh and light.
Sounds lovely. Okay, we've covered dinner. What about the start of the day? Turkish breakfast, the kahvaltı, you mentioned it's an event.
It truly is. It's not a quick bite, it's a ritual, a social thing. Meant to be lingered over for at least an hour, maybe two. Forget cereal and toast.
So what does it involve?
The table just gets covered. Multiple kinds of cheese feta. Maybe some aged white cheese, biaz peynir, a creamy cottage-style one, different types of olives, fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, beautiful bread, jams, local honey, eggs, often cooked with succa, that spicy Turkish sausage.
Sounds like a feast already.
And the star for many is kaymak. It's this incredibly rich, thick, clotted cream, almost like a cross between butter and cream cheese. You drizzle honey over it.
Oh my God. I need K-Mac in my life.
You do.
Yeah.
The whole point of kahvaltı is celebrating fresh, local stuff. You savor it slowly, share everything, drink endless little glasses of strong Turkish tea. Say, it's the perfect, relaxed way to fuel up for a day of exploring.
That sounds amazing. Let's talk costs, though, because dining seems to reflect that Bodrum duality just like accommodation does. How cheap can you eat versus, how much can you blow at the marina?
You can eat incredibly well for very little if you know where to look. Street food is your friend. A sim of that sesame bread ring you see everywhere costs less than $1. Perfect snack.
What about something more substantial?
A good hearty doner wrapped chicken or meat. You can find those for maybe $4 or $5. Filling, delicious, authentic Turkish fast food.
Okay, that's the budget end. What about mid-range? Where's that sweet spot for a sit-down meal?
The golden rule.
Yeah.
Walk one street back from the absolute prime waterfront. Seriously. Look for places busy with locals. Check online reviews. A really good dinner in one of these spots. Maybe share some mezes, have a main course, a couple of drinks. You're probably looking at $25 to $40 per person. Excellent quality Asian food at a fair price.
That sounds very reasonable. Now, the high end, those waterfront places in Gümüşlük or the fancy spots in Yalıkavak Marina, what happens to prices there?
You enter the bubble. Especially with fresh fish at those prime spots, they sell it by weight, price per kilo. And it can be genuinely shocking.
Like how much?
A nice big sea bass, enough for two people,
Yeah.
could easily be $50 or $60 just for the fish itself before it's even cooked or you add sides. Yeah. So factor in some nice mezes, maybe a bottle of Turkish wine, service. A full dinner at a high-end spot like that can easily hit $100 to $150 per person, maybe more, without going crazy.
Okay, that's a huge difference from the $30 mid-range meal. So how do you avoid getting caught out? What's the pro tip?
It's twofold. First, Tactical location. Again, walk away from the main waterfront drag, especially the places with hosts aggressively trying to lure you in. Avoid them.
And second,
Actively seek out a locanta for lunch. These are traditional canteen-style places serving pre-cooked, home-style dishes, stews, vegetables and olive oil, rice, beans, called sulu yemek, meaning food with liquid. It's incredibly cheap, super authentic, and always delicious. A fantastic lunch option.
great tip. And specifically for ordering that expensive fish.
You absolutely must ask the price per kilo before you agree to order it.
Yeah.
Get them to show you the fish, weigh it if necessary, and confirm the price. If they're vague or hesitant, that's a red flag. Just walk away. Transparency is key.
Excellent. Very practical advice. Okay, we're fed and watered. Let's move smoothly into segment 4. History, sea, and the absolute must-do activities. These are the core Bodrum experiences, right?
Yeah, the things that really define the place beyond the beaches and bars. And we have to start with the icon that dominates the skyline. Bodrum Castle, the castle of St. Peter.
That massive fortress by the harbor.
Exactly. Built by the Knights of St. John starting back in the 15th century. It's just an incredible piece of Crusader architecture right there guarding the bay. It's the historical and spiritual heart of the town.
And there's that amazing story about how it was built.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. History eating itself, basically. The Knights needed huge amounts of good quality stone quickly. So where did they get it?
From the ruins nearby.
From the ruins of one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, which had already been damaged by earthquakes. They literally dismantled parts of an ancient wonder to build their medieval castle. Every block of marble in those walls has this incredible double history.
That's mind-blowing. And inside the castle, there's something pretty special, too, right? The museum.
Oh, it's world class. The Museum of Underwater Archaeology. And even if you think you don't like museums, you should go to this one.
Why? What makes it different?
Because it's not dusty pots and glass cases. It's treasure. Real, recovered treasure from ancient shipwrecks found in the Aegean. The star is the Uluburun shipwreck.
Uluburun. Tell me about that.
It dates back to the late Bronze Age. We're talking over 3,300 years ago. And they found this incredible cargo, copper ingots, tin, raw glass, pottery, jewelry, even elephant tusks. It completely rewrites what we thought about trade networks back then. Seeing that stuff recovered from the seabed is just awe-inspiring.
Okay, you've sold me. Logistics for the castle and museum.
Entrance fee is pretty reasonable, around 350 Turkish Lira, which is about 12 US currently. But the key tip is timing.
Go early.
Definitely go early. Beat the tour groups, yes, but more importantly, beat the heat. The castle complex is huge, mostly outdoors, lots of stone steps and pathways. It gets incredibly hot by midday. Wear comfy shoes.
Good advice. Okay, activity number 2. This feels like the quintessential Bodrum experience. The gullet boat trip.
It really is. You haven't truly done Bodrum until you've spent a day on a gullet. These are those beautiful, traditional, 2-masted wooden sailing boats.
What's the day trip typically like?
You sail out from the main harbor, leaving the bustle behind. The captain takes you to several different spots, usually beautiful, secluded bays and coves that you can only reach by boat.
And you just swim?
Yep. Drop anchor, swim in that amazing clear turquoise water, snorkel, sunbathe on the deck. It's pure relaxation, total escape.
Is food included?
Almost always. Lunch is usually cooked right there on the boat's grill. Simple grilled fish or chicken, fresh salads, maybe some pasta. It tastes amazing out on the water.
Sounds idyllic. What's the cost for a day trip like that?
For a standard group trip, you're looking at somewhere between $40 and $80 per person. It varies.
Any tips for choosing one? There seem to be dozens lined up.
Yeah, walk along the harbor, talk to a few. Don't automatically jump at the absolute cheapest price. Sometimes paying just $10 or $20 more per person means a much less crowded boat, maybe slightly better food, better service overall. It's often worth that small extra investment for a better experience.
Okay. Shop around, maybe pay slightly more for quality. Got it. Activity number 3 takes us back to ancient history, and you mention needing expectation management for this one. Visiting the site of the mausoleum at Halicarnassus.
Right. This is crucial. It is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But you need to understand what's left.
Which isn't much, physically.
Not in terms of a standing structure, no. Unlike, say, the pyramids or the Colosseum. Earthquakes, neglect over centuries, and then the Knights using it as a quarry for the castle. It means what you see today is mostly foundations, some scattered blocks, the footprint of where it stood.
So if there's not much to physically see, why is it still a must-do? What's the value?
The value is immense, but it's conceptual. You are standing on the exact spot of a tomb so magnificent, built for King Mausolus back in the 4th century BC, that it literally gave us the word mausoleum for any grand tomb. That's incredible, right?
Yeah, when you put it like that.
It represents the peak of ancient Korean civilization, Hellenistic art and architecture. It's a place for quiet contemplation, for imagining its former glory.
Is there anything to help with that imagination?
Yes, there's a small but good museum on site. It has fragments of the original friezes, some sculptures, and really helpful models and drawings that show you what archaeologists think it looked like, this massive tiered structure, incredibly ornate. It helps bring it to life.
And it's a quick visit.
Yeah, maybe an hour max. The entrance fee is minimal, like $5. It's low effort, but the connection to deep history is profound. Totally worth it.
Okay, makes sense. And the fourth essential activity, you said it's more of an evening experience.
Yes, experiencing an evening in Gümüşlük, especially around sunset.
We talked about Gümüşlük's chill vibe. What makes the evening special?
It's just pure, simple magic. You should time your arrival for the golden hour. Before sunset, do that walk wade, really across the submerged causeway to Rabbit Island. See the little fish swimming around your ankles?
Sounds lovely.
Then, as the sun sets, painting the sky all orange and pink over that calm, protected bay, you find a table at one of those waterfront fish restaurants we mentioned.
Feet practically in the water.
Exactly. Order some mezes, maybe some grilled fish, a glass of cold white wine or raku, and just soak it all in. It's the quintessential, charming, authentic, beautiful side of Bodrum. Unforgettable.
That sounds like the perfect end to a day. Okay, we've covered the highlights: history, sea, food. Now let's get real. Segment 5, the complicated vibe and the maybe skip list. This is the reality check, right? Navigating those contrasts.
Yeah, this is about understanding the feeling of the place beyond the pretty pictures.
Yeah.
And knowing what maybe isn't worth your time or money. The overall vibe, pulling it all together, I'd say it's intensely vibrant.
Vibrant, okay.
It's sophisticated, definitely, but somehow not stuffy. It manages this weird trick of feeling ancient and hyper-modern at the exact same time. History and unapologetic glamour crammed together.
Let's start with the definite positives. What shines through?
First off, Turkish hospitality is a
Very.
real thing. People are generally incredible, warm, friendly, welcoming, and really proud to show you their town and country.
That makes a huge difference to a trip.
Totally.
Yeah.
Second, the scenery. It's just relentlessly beautiful. The color of the water, the whitewashed houses against the green hills and olive groves, the light. It's stunning.
And safety.
Generally feels very safe, especially in the main tourist areas. You take the standard precautions you would anywhere, of course. But yeah, people feel comfortable walking around, exploring.
Okay, hospitality, beauty, safety, big ticks. Now, the challenges. The stuff that can cause frustration. We have to come back to crowds and traffic. We know July-August driving is a nightmare. But what does that sheer density of people do to the town's atmosphere?
It creates this feeling of pressure, stress almost. Even just walking through the narrow streets of Bodrum town in the evening during peak season can be a slow shuffle. Sources say it affects everything: how long you wait for food, service quality, just the general noise level. It can feel overwhelming.
So if you're looking for peace and quiet,
High season Bodrum town is probably not your friend. You'd need to stay further out or travel in the shoulder season.
and connected to the crowds and the high-end focus, there's the issue of scams and just inflated prices, right? We mentioned the taxi meter thing.
Yeah, you need to be aware. And the cost bubble is real. Bodrum, especially places like Yalakavak or prime waterfront spots, can feel completely disconnected from the rest of Turkey price-wise.
Can you give an example?
Well, we saw a source mention paying $8 for a simple espresso coffee in the Palm Marina. You could drive 30 minutes away, outside the main tourist zone, and get the exact same coffee for $2.
That's a serious markup.
It is. And you need to be careful with restaurant bills, especially if you're a large group or in a very touristy spot. Always double-check for unexpected service charges or mistakes. It happens. Vigilance is needed.
It's that extreme duality again, isn't it? A $1 street food stand maybe 50 feet from a Dior boutique selling $5,000 handbags.
Exactly. And navigating that, figuring out where you fit in or what you want to engage with, that's the real deep dive for the traveler. Do you embrace the luxury, stick to the authentic budget stuff, or just enjoy the slightly surreal spectacle of it all coexisting?
Right. And speaking of navigating, let's give people some pointers on what they can maybe steer clear of, the maybe skip list things that sound popular but might not be worth it.
Good idea. Saves time and money. Okay, number 1 on the potential skip list. The main bar street in Bodrum town. Officially, it's Cumhuriyet Caddesi.
Why skip it? Isn't that where the nightlife is?
It's a nightlife, But sources describe it, especially late at night, as pretty generic and often unpleasant. Think really loud, thumping, generic dance music you could hear anywhere in the Med. Overpriced, often weak drinks, just kind of chaotic and, well, a bit trashy, frankly. Lacks any real Turkish character.
So if you want a drink with atmosphere,
Look for a rooftop bar with a nice view of the castle, much classier. Or find a smaller local place, maybe one with live Turkish music, which is called Fasil. It's a much more authentic and enjoyable experience.
okay, avoid Bar Street late at night. What's number 2 on the skip list?
This might be controversial, but camel riding on the beach, especially in Gumbet where you see it offered a lot,
Why is that? Seems exotic.
it just feels totally out of place. It's a pure tourist gimmick imported from elsewhere. Bodrum's heritage is maritime, Aegean, olives,
Yeah.
not desert caravans. It has zero connection to the local culture. Plus, often there are questions about how well the animals are treated. It just feels tacky.
Okay, so if someone wants an animal-related experience or a different view,
A much better, more authentic alternative would be horse riding up in the hills overlooking the peninsula. Great views, connects you with the actual landscape, feels more respectful and relevant.
makes sense. And the third thing to potentially skip. You hinted at this earlier.
Yeah, it ties back to food. Avoid restaurants where the host outside is aggressively trying to hassle you or drag you inside, especially on the main waterfronts.
Why is that such a bad sign?
Because it usually means their business model relies on trapping unwary tourists, not on serving great food that brings people back. If the food was amazing, they wouldn't need someone yelling at passersby. The food in those places is almost always mediocre and overpriced.
And the simple alternative.
Walk 1 block inland. Use your phone, check Google Maps or reviews, find a place with good local buzz. Or find one of those locantas we talked about. You'll eat better and pay less, guaranteed.
It really comes down to making informed choices, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Which kind of brings us to the wrap-up, our conclusion, the final nuanced verdict on Bodrum.
Right. We've covered a lot. The potentially high flight costs, the genius and chaos of the Dolmuş, the utter deliciousness of Şükürtme kebabı, the deep history in the castle and mausoleum site, and the need to navigate crowds, traffic, and those price extremes.
So, pulling all that together from the sources, is Bodrum worth it? The answer really is a firm, it depends. It's not a one-size-fits-all destination. Its value is totally dependent on who you are as a traveler and what you're looking for.
Okay, let's be specific then. Who is Bodrum absolutely 100% worth the cost and effort for?
3 groups, I think. First, the luxury traveler. If you want world-class resorts, incredible service, high-end shopping, fine dining, and that whole super yacht scene, Bodrum delivers. It genuinely competes with the top spots in the Med south of France, Mykonos, Ibiza. It's a premium playground.
Okay, luxury seekers, yes. Who else?
Second, the history buff, who also loves the sea. That combination is unbeatable here. You get the mausoleum site, the castle built from its stones, the incredible underwater archaeology museum, and then you can cool off with a swim in the beautiful Aegean. It's a unique historical and sensory package.
History and sea lovers, check.
And the third group,
Groups of friends, or anyone looking for a really vibrant, energetic social holiday. If your priorities are buzzing beach clubs by day, lively restaurants in the evening, and a huge choice of bars and clubs for later, Bodrum's energy is perfectly tuned for that. It's fun, it's lively.
right? So luxury, history, sea, and high-energy social travelers. Now, who might find Bodrum isn't the best fit? Who should maybe look elsewhere?
Okay, conversely. First, the rock-bottom budget backpacker. Yes, you can do Bodrum on the cheap, as we discussed with pensions and locantas, but honestly, your money will go significantly further in other beautiful parts of the Turkish coast, like maybe Kaş or Fethi, further east. They offer better value if budget is the absolute top priority.
Okay, budget travelers might find better value elsewhere. Who else? Second, anyone seeking a completely quiet, off-the-grid, untouched escape. Bodrum is popular. It's developed. It buzzes. Even in the quieter spots like Gümüşlük, there's still a level of activity. Finding true serenity requires effort, maybe staying way out on the peninsula, and it's not the dominant vibe.
So, not for total peace seekers. And the last group.
Anyone who absolutely hates traffic and crowds. If gridlock and packed streets genuinely ruin your holiday, then you must avoid Bodrum in July and August, that biblical traffic nightmare we talk about. It's real, and it will impact your trip.
The solution for them.
Go in the shoulder season, May, early June, September, early October. The weather's still beautiful, the sea is warm, but the crowds and traffic are much, much more manageable. It's a far more pleasant experience if you dislike bustle.
So there we have it. Bodrum really does resist a simple label. It's this complex mosaic, isn't it? Ancient site, fishing village, party town, billionaire's retreat, all layered on top of each other.
Exactly. And the real deep dive for you, the listener, is figuring out which piece of that mosaic is the one that truly resonates with your own travel style and desires.
What's the key takeaway then? The final thought?
I think the key to really getting Bodrum and enjoying it is not just to accept its extreme duality, but to actively embrace it, lean into the contrast. The fact that you can have an authentic, delicious $1 street snack right next to a $10 million yacht, that's not a bug, it's a feature. That constant tension between the ancient and the hypermodern, the simple and the extravagant, that's precisely what makes Bodrum so compelling, so unique, and ultimately such a fascinating place to explore in the Mediterranean.